My beloved child, quit what you're doing. Heaven just cut off your timeline. Your message was not received, it was sent by me. There is no tease in the title, it's a summons. The good news has just arrived. Additionally, it bears your name in flames. It's not only a sentimental word, it's a divine message, an immediate discharge from my throne that goes directly to your heart's battleground. Don't scroll, don't stop. Do not consider this to be another video. Every second is a breakthrough. I've concealed phrases and answers, affirmations and hushes, deliverance in the silences. Stay with me. It is a calling, not a fascination, because something will change within you by the end of this. There will be chain falls. The vision will make sense and your next move will be indisputable. This is your time. This is your message, and you are responsible for the consequences. Heaven, my dear child, is a place of appointments rather than accidents. With unseen hands, I have guided you here through holy nudges and heavenly interruptions that you might not even be aware of. I did see you, though. I witnessed your routine's pain, your prayer beneath your weary breath, and your heart's wordless yearning as you muttered, "God, if you're still talking, I need to hear you right now." "This is not a post. This is not a nice idea," I replied. "This is me, your creator, entering your moment with unquestionable intent. I have not come merely to console you. I have come to confirm that I will collide with every thought that implied you were forgotten and to dispel the falsehood that you missed your window. My timing is impeccable. I'm drawing you through it heart first, child. Feel the weight of this moment, not the pressure of performance, but the weight of glory. You didn't miss it. You're on time with the orchestration of eternity. What you're reading is not inspiration. It's abortation. You've been wondering for far too long whether I still set things up for you the way I used to, whether I still interrupt the natural with the supernatural for your benefit. Today, I answer that question with my very presence in this message. Yes, I still do, and I just did. I've set up a divine collision between your present reality and my eternal promise. Before this message ever made it to your screen, it reverberated through the corridors of heaven. Your name was spoken with reverence. Your narrative was examined with honor, and this exact word was sealed with haste. You didn't click this. You were called to it. You didn't stumble here. You were summoned. I planned every delay, every silence, and every unfulfilled desire that led you to this point because it is at this very moment that your heart is at its most alert, prepared, and desperate to hear what only I can say, and to hear me clearly. This is not a time to waste. Rather, it is a holy invitation wrapped in a digital message, not because I'm limited, but because you needed to hear me this way, clearly, intimately, and unquestionably. You are receiving me, not just news, and I came for you, not a crowd or a group. You, my darling, heaven's accuracy has reached you, and what comes next isn't just consolation, it's your confirmation, child. Please lean in and feel this. Right now, something holy has shattered in the invisible. Something that was once restrained by forces you couldn't even describe, let alone see, has just been ordered to move. And the walls that stood like mountains whispering, "Not yet," have begun to shake. It's not your head, but the heartbeat of your spirit. It wasn't your imagination. It was the weight of breakthrough pushing against the veil, and now the veil has torn. This isn't a metaphor, it's monumental. There is a literal shift taking place in the unseen, and your name is written in the middle of it. The tension you've carried, that pressure that made your chest tight and your breath shallow, wasn't your imagination. Listen up, child. The runway is clear. The clearance has been granted. The delay has been removed. and what was once suspended in spiritual traffic is now descending into your now. You've been living in what felt like a holding pattern, circling over hopes you weren't sure would ever land. And it's happening faster than you think. You're going to see how heaven works when my decree overcomes all obstacles. What has been delayed for years will be delivered in a matter of moments. I want you to realize that this delay was not denial, it was design. It was not the enemy winning, it was me weaving. I wasn't ignoring your cries. The reason the doors remained closed and the opportunities missed you was because the magnitude of what I'm releasing could not land in a hurried or reckless season. It had to wait for the way until your heart could hold what your hands weren't ready for before. The prayer seemed to resound in vain because of this, but now, dear, the appointed time has clashed with my eternal will. I tell you, the change has occurred. It didn't begin when you read this, rather it started in the silent war rooms of heaven when your perseverance triumphed over your disappointment, when you cried but continued to worship, and when you doubted but continued to whisper my name. That's when the order was signed, but now you feel the tremble because it's not just a spiritual shift. It's a step into natural space. My child, if this message touched your spirit today, click the Super Thanks button to show your faith and gratitude. Your Super Thanks is more than just a gift. It is a declaration that you trust in my provision and that you will help spread my word to those who are lost and searching. Just as an earthquake changes the landscape, so too will this spiritual shift upend everything you know, but only to create something much bigger than you had imagined. You have been anticipating more delays and another disappointment, and you have nearly given up on anything changing, have you not? However, I advise you to let go of the expectation that things will take longer than they usually do, because this time the heavens are moving at the speed of obedience, and I am not requesting perfection. Let your posture be ready, not stiff with fear. Let your heart be open, not clamped by old wounds. I'm not repeating what didn't work. I'm letting go of what was impossible until now. Child, I need you to hear the sound of abrupt movement. I need you to know the frequency of favor. Your spirit will know that this is a push, not a pause, and that nothing can push back when I push. The good news is not coming soon. It has already arrived and brought its own momentum. The old gravity that held you back has been broken, and you are now moving in a different direction, one that is not constrained by natural laws, but is instead driven by divine release. Oh, my child, if only your eyes could see what I see now. The atmosphere around you has changed. I didn't send a symbol, but my presence has invaded it. The weight of waiting, the pressure of postponement, it has changed instantly. Not as a visitor passing through, but as your deliverer. I came with the full force of fulfillment in my hands. I didn't enter your space with the intention of observing. Instead, I came with the fire of resolution. I'm not standing still, I'm moving with purpose. Your atmosphere is no longer ordinary air, it's sharar. It is trembling with glory. I didn't assign an angel to speak on my behalf. I have come to shake, to shift, to fill your dry ground with rain that carries the scent of promises fulfilled. The wind is not random. The silence you felt before was simply the calm before the command. And now I speak. Let it be delivered. This is not a visitation, rather it is a divine interruption, a holy breach into your reality. And this is my answer, child, not in theory, but in reality, to your questions in the dark. Lord, do you still move the way you used to? Do you still appear the way you did in the stories? I am here stepping into your timeline with purpose, and I am here to deliver what no man could manufacture, what no strategy could summon, and what no performance could earn. I am the door, and I don't need an open door to enter. And where I walk, delay loses its hold. Where I talk, uncertainty vanishes. Where I touch, barrenness turns into breakthrough. You have hosted my wonder for a long time. You have carried burdens that no one could comprehend, and now you have carried the blessing that no one anticipated. I am not a silent observer. I am a forza fulfillment. This is not poetic language. This is a prophetic release. I am the author and finisher. I am not merely rewriting your story. I am revealing the next chapter that has been sealed until this very hour. I am the roaring lion that delivers what he declares. Because of this, I tell you to prepare yourself. I've written things in invisible ink that only fire could see, and now the fire of my presence is making every line visible. You won't have to find a way to explain this or provide evidence for why it's happening. I'll make it so clear, so indisputable, and so customized for you that even the most doubtful will have to say, surely the Lord has done this. I have a rhyme, so I came not just to answer one prayer, but to untangle a web of delay that has been choking your confidence. Your atmosphere has been invaded, but I don't come empty-handed. I bring deliverance with design, healing with speed, and answers with acceleration. Your head will lift without shame, and your eyes will open without fear. And until every promise breathes again, I'm not going anywhere. I know you've pondered, my darling, how many times you've raised your head to the sky and muttered, "Where are you?" Your prayers rose up like smoke, but nothing came down like rain during the times you've experienced when my voice appeared silent and my presence looked far. The heavens seemed to hold their breath and not respond, as if the sky above you were cut off. However, child, I must tell you the truth. My silence was never a sign of indifference, abandonment, or punishment. Rather, it was a tactic. Not only was I preparing your blessing, but I was preparing you as well. The silence you felt was not meaningless. Rather, it was laden with divine orchestration. In the silence where you feared I had forgotten you, I was constructing something so precise and sacred that words could not yet adequately describe it. I was too busy precisely arranging every variable to speak. I was cleaning the timelines you believed to be stagnant, softening hearts, routing interference, and aligning people. To you, silence meant delay, but to me, silence meant setup. I wasn't quiet because I didn't care, but rather because I cared too much to speak too soon. You have to understand this, child. I prepare things in silence that cannot be stolen, tampered with, or mislabeled, just as blessings draw the wrong attention. However, what I have been doing for you in the silence has been covered up by heavenly camouflage. I have kept your promise hidden because I love you too much to allow it to be attacked before it is ready. Not because I didn't love you. Your silent seasons were furnaces, not failures. I use the weight of waiting to fortify your faith, and I use the heat of ignorance to dispel your fear. Every moment of silence was soil to your surrender. Every unanswered prayer was turned into soil where new discernment took root. I whispered blueprints to angels while you sobbed into your pillow, and while you believed nothing was happening, I was rewriting entire timelines to fit the rhythm of your readiness. What appeared to be a delay was actually divine development. Now the silence is breaking, not with noise, but with revelation. And you are entering the visible manifestation of what I created behind the veil. I did not construct your blessing in the open, but rather in secret, so that no one could curse what I concealed. Now that the unveiling has started, don't hate the quiet. Instead, embrace it. Heaven was shielding you from early exposure, not ignoring you. I swartified. What I've prepared is not fragile. It's not paper thin. It's granite thick. You may have believed I wasn't talking, but I was, just not in a way that your ears could hear. Through alignments, shifts, and knees that brought you closer to my plans and away from the wrong rooms, I was communicating with you. Now, when the silence subsides and my voice resurfaces with tenderness and thunder, you will see what I see, that not a single moment was empty or wasted. You've carried the pain of almost. You've lived in the tension between nearly and not yet. You've prayed for doors to open that stay locked, for dreams to live that seem to die in your hands. The enemy whispered. God said no. Even when the heavens felt sealed, I was writing a story that no demon could alter. And now, child, the silence breaks, and the delivery begins, and disappointment echoed it until it sounded true. However, let me use the power of truth to break that lie. What you called a delay was never denial. Rather, it was divine choreography. You were being positioned. I wasn't withholding the promise. Rather, I was honing its accuracy because I never miss. I don't guess. I don't gamble with my glory. I aim with purpose, and I release with perfection. You thought the delay meant I was shifting my mind, but it was actually my mercy, making sure that when I say yes, everything else says yes as well. The timing, the relationships, the environment, and the resources. I wasn't late, and I was spot on. And the reason you experienced such intense tension is because your spirit felt the pressure of something enormous being pulled back like an arrow before being released. Let's be honest for a moment. You wanted it now. You wanted it quickly, and I know that. I really do. However, if I had given it to you when you asked, it would have destroyed what I was still building in you. Yes, the blessing was ready, but you were still feeling the weight of what it would entail. I never let go of anything without a reason, child, and with a graying purpose comes a lot of strain. What appeared to be a no was actually a hold on. Right now, the wind isn't on your side. I don't sow seeds into storms. The reason I waited was not because I doubted you, but because I believe in what I put inside of you too deeply to allow it to emerge too soon. I trained your trust, not to punish you, but to prepare your hands to hold what can't be held casually. I planted them in seasons where they'll bloom fearlessly. I see it as destiny. Hold on, because this next part is sacred. The breakthrough I'm sending wasn't stolen or lost in the mail. Rather, it was stored in a vault with your name engraved on it for all eternity. Now that the pall has been unlocked, what's coming won't come in pieces. It will come in its entirety. Provision won't need to be put together by you. Scraps won't need to be stretched into solutions. This is hardly a half-baked response. This completes a circle. You won't simply be fortunate, you'll be in agreement. You will realize, not simply get, because my timing always lands with a distinct sense of tranquility, the kind of tranquility that the natural mind cannot comprehend, the sort of tranquility that stifles every doubter outside of you, every inner critic, and every devilish lie that attempted to make you feel forgotten. This is the portion that will leave you gasping for air. Heaven knows how long it has been forming, but it will appear to have happened overnight. There won't be any leftovers. Legacy is yours. No favor is being given to you. You are being fulfilled. Therefore, I will no longer doubt my feelings based on time. I will no longer use the calendar to gauge my faithfulness. I wasn't holding back to torture you. Even you will stand back and say, "Thank God the wait is over, because I was waiting to hit you with something so accurate and well-timed." Your breakthrough has been made public, and luck is not the aim. Faith is. Child, let your faith get the runway ready. It won't just happen. My darling, it's closer than breath. Here, pause with me. Allow the world around you to calm down. Take slow breaths. This particular moment right here is unique. Avoid ignoring it. Don't keep scrolling or classify it as merely another word of encouragement. This goes beyond simple encouragement. This is a sacred unveiling shrouded in subtlety, a celestial meeting disguised in plain language. You see, most people anticipate that I will proclaim myself with burning clouds and trembling skies, move with earthquakes and communicate with thunder. However, I'm not always loud. I have a purpose, and I'm not merely in your room at the moment. Like a conductor hoisting a baton, I'm modifying your atmosphere. In this instant, every word, every breath, and every heartbeat is exact. It's not a religious practice. This sequence is sacrosanct. You didn't come here by accident. In order for my whisper to ultimately break through the cacophony, I called you into a pause, to change you with truth, not to entice you with beauty. Every moment leading up to this was holy choreography, even if you weren't aware of it. This divine appointment was woven together with the suffering, the waiting, the longing, and the perplexity. I didn't merely let them happen. They were purposed by me. You were being prepared for this particular word, even if you believed you were enduring silent seasons. Hear me, child. The script changes with this sentence, the dialogue that recovers what was almost lost. This is not a decorative moment. It's a directive. Assignment is engraved on it. Earth takes the lead. Angels are hearing. I put other plans on hold so I could talk to you about this. And the line you look back on will be what I say here. The instant when light poured where terror had grown deep and something broke in the spirit. This is the type of moment that distinguishes the strategy for tomorrow from the fight of yesterday. I'm not making this up. I'm revealing. And I want you to see it with spiritual eyes, honed by hunger, rather than physical eyes. I consider your hunger sacred. Your pain is worthwhile. Desperation cloaked in surrender is how I respond. Don't take this lightly then. This is a moment of personal clarity encasing the whisper of heaven. I'm not attempting to use flowery jargon to impress you. I'm trying to convey to you that heaven is a word-efficient place, and I've decided to interrupt your cycle with this breath. It's not noise, it's subtle. Speech formed from divine detail. When the soul is sensitive enough to accept me without fear's filters, I speak in this manner. Now, I'm not simply talking to cheer you up, I'm speaking in order to awaken, anchor, and align you because you need to remember this exact word for what you're about to accomplish. Put it in writing. Inscribe it into your spirit. This sentence will serve as your shield, so return to it regularly when confusion attempts to reappear, when unwelcome voices are raised, when delays come back and inquiries start to surface. Remember that the battle was briefly overtaken by the sacred. Child, this is the time. Don't overlook its importance, never undervalue its significance. Everything is about to change, and it starts right here. If only you could see what I see when I call your name, my darling. I responded with a sound you've never heard, but heaven has, when you muttered my name in fatigue and your knees struck the floor in silent rooms with no one around but the ceiling. Your name is not lost. It is known to me. It is inscribed on my hands, written on the scrolls of your purpose and uttered with awe where angels kneel. Your name has echoed like a song sung by the surrendered in the very halls of heaven, those golden hallways where choices are made and fates decided. Your cries were never disregarded. Your tears were never unnoticed. I etched your identity deeper into forever, my darling, when the world forgot how valuable you were. The applause of the crowd wasn't necessary for you. Heaven was watching you. When you cried in silence and wondered if anything you were doing mattered, I sent angels to carry your laments into my courts like holy incense. Sermons were not as loud as your surrender. Your waiting was an act of worship. Now pay close attention. I have dispatched messengers, anointed angels who are ferocious, swift, and whose only task is to precede this word and remove any obstacles. The weight of what I've approved for your life has been making the unseen shudder. Opportunities you were unaware were bound by chains are suddenly being released. Gates sealed by spirits of delay, not by mankind, are unbolting. I did not write this letter from the seat of heaven. I fired on either side of it. I gave it authority. The angels bearing it are not just here to console. They are here to overcome the obstacles in your way. Generational interference, old patterns, and unseen sabotage are being eliminated like smoke before the wind. I send words with power because of this, and all creation must submit when I call you by name in the halls of heaven. Your life has felt heavier lately because of this. You've been more exhausted than normal. The strain you felt isn't random. Life wasn't all that. Spiritual opposition was the cause. However, the resistance is now retreating. My voice has called your name, and I have given my command. The darkness that attempted to stay is dissipating. The air is getting clearer. We're paving your way. This door doesn't need to be pried open. We're opening it for you, because you stayed, because you believed even with shattered faith, because you whispered yes when your heart was tired, and not because of performance. The hosts of heaven are now acting with execution as well as encouragement. What I said before you were born is being fulfilled by them. Child, I remember names. I don't misplace destinies. The future holds more than blessings. It is a broadcast of heaven's honor over a life that refused to give up. Perhaps no one has heard your name, but it has continued to reverberate throughout heaven. The ground will now echo it too, for my glory, not yours. For it is my pleasure to uplift those who are faithful in silence. You're going to witness what happens when the gates of earth and the halls of heaven open simultaneously, for you alone. That door, the one you lost faith in, my child, the one your prayers used to dwell on before silence choked your faith, it's about to open. I heard you. It isn't a theory or a metaphor. It is happening now. I know how many times you stood before it with a full heart, only to have disappointment pound like a stone against your chest. You told yourself, perhaps it wasn't meant for me. Perhaps it was sealed for another person. But you were unaware that I was still working as you left, believing it to be final. Behind the door, I was rearranging time, aligning details, and adjusting the atmosphere so that when it opened, you would walk through it unharmed. The door you wept over, I will never forget it, and I never punished you by locking it. I kept it safe. Some doors are too sacred to open hastily. What is behind them is so significant and intertwined with your destiny that I could not grant access until both you and your surroundings were prepared. It would have hurt you rather than welcomed you if I'd opened it when you first asked. Without spiritual strength to guide it, opportunity would have become a burden. I wasn't withholding blessing. I was protecting promise. But things have changed since then. The hinges are no longer tight. Delay's rust is crumbling. The lock is breaking. I've spoken to it, not because you forced it, but because I did. And what once said, never, is now whispering. Do you hear it, the Spirit's creaking sound? It's the groan of greatness on its way to becoming a reality. I am entrusting you with a moment that generations longed to see but never did. You are about to enter a room designed for you before you knew how to ask for it. This door is opening from promise, not pressure, from my loyalty, not your effort. Let the sound uplift your soul. Don't let past disappointments cloud your discernment. You are unlocking in fulfillment what you once believed was locked in finality. Leave shame behind when you step through. Do not carry residue from delay. Walk with confidence, as one called by the King. This is more than a personal upgrade. It's a generational shift. Beyond you, this door holds destiny. What begins here will stretch far. I do not discard what I open. I reveal it, precisely, prophetically, purposefully, when it's ready. Check your vision, overcome fear, prepare to walk through what once wounded you. The door wasn't ignoring you, it was waiting for the maturity of your yes. Can we speak honestly, child? How many times have you looked for my updates, expecting a sign, only to leave disappointed while others seem to receive theirs? You waited for your package of promise to arrive. It felt as though the tracking stopped, hope dimmed, and optimism began to whisper instead of sing. You began preparing yourself for disappointment, but you never fully stopped believing. Just in case, you told yourself, don't get your hopes up. However, this word isn't another update. This message isn't a delay. This is not divine processing. This is the knock. This is the delivery. What you thought would stay pending has manifested. I never forgot your name or your need. Nothing was misplaced or delayed in spiritual traffic. It was protected, and now it's arriving in your atmosphere. It's not your imagination, that tightening in your chest, that stirring in your spirit. It's not anxiety. It's arrival. Fulfillment is asking for permission to enter. Nothing can intercept what I send. No imitation can replicate it, for it carries a heavenly seal. You'll know it's from me. The signature will be clear. The fragrance of my presence will fill its wrapping. And what's inside? Inside is healing deep enough to touch the ache no one else could reach. This isn't a surface blessing. It's a soul restoration. This outpouring is legacy level. It's where private pain meets public promise. And understand this clearly. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to perform for it. I only need your yes, your honesty. What I offer isn't fragile. It's forged to survive the journey. This isn't a teaser. It's a transfer. You don't have to chase it. It's already reaching your door, carrying not only gifts but evidence that I saw your tears, heard your prayers, and honored your worship in waiting. Applause wasn't required. Heaven was confirming. And I'm confirming now, not with a pat on the back, but with a flood, a prophetic move, and a covenant-level release. This delivery has purpose. It is covenant. And I sent it to change you, not to impress you. Allow it to enter. Accept it completely. Allow me to demonstrate my capabilities. Right now, when waiting becomes heavenly, it's not just coming, it has already arrived. When I say that this is personal, my darling, I mean it in ways that your mind cannot comprehend. It wasn't someone else that sent this phrase or this time. No vessel was used to filter it. It wasn't given to a prophet, angel, or celestial messenger. I arrived by myself. I traversed dimensions, kingdoms, and distances that are impossible to gauge with calendars or clocks. I couldn't keep quiet any longer, so I came. Not because you deserved a visitation. You needed me, not someone else's consolation or encouragement. You required the voice of your Father, the whisper of your Savior, and the order of your monarch, and I'm here for that reason. I didn't offer consolation, I brought myself. No word was assigned by me. I wanted you to hear it directly from the person who molded your soul and counted your tears, so I stated it in a caring, authoritative, and intimate manner. This isn't just any blessing. The hands that shaped mountains, time tides, and named stars created this innovative tailor by hand. I'm phoning you now. I could have communicated this in another way, but I didn't want any meaning to be mistranslated. I didn't want this moment to be diminished in the slightest. You mean that much to me. Your cries are heard by me, the ones you never said aloud, not simply the ones that reverberated in rooms, the ones that only existed in sighs, moans, and silent takes, the ones you buried. And I knew that nothing less than myself would suffice after hearing their moans. I wasn't only here to respond, I was there to observe. Even when your faith wavered and your hope fell apart due to disappointment, I was there the entire time and never left. I came to look you in the soul and tell you, I saw it all. And now I've chosen this moment, this very one, to make my nearness undeniable. To prove that I don't just send help, I am the help. And listen to me now, because this is where it turns. What I came to deliver cannot be counterfeited. I stayed in the room even after you stopped asking because it felt too painful. I didn't come with a fleeting high. I came with a permanent mark. The kind of word that rewires your memory, your narrative, your understanding of me, and no one else can claim it or take credit for it. This isn't just encouragement. This is establishment, and I'm not brushing your soul. You are not forgotten. You are not a face in a crowd. You are the reason I put everything else on hold to invade this minute. And I need you to know deeply, completely, and without a doubt that this voice is mine. I am branding it with my name, with my promise, and with my commitment to finish what I started in you. I came for you, not because of who you are in the world, but because of who you are in my heart. I didn't send a messenger. I came myself. I won't leave until you believe that. Child, I understand the weight of your waiting. I've seen you carry seasons that are longer than your expectations could endure. You don't need to reason with it. Just accept it. These thoughts, these doubts, these quiet whirlwinds that tried to wrap themselves around your identity are things I've seen. I've seen your mind wander through mental mazes of what if and why not yet. I've heard you wondering, not just the kind that questions timelines, but the kind that questions worth. Am I still chosen? Am I still seen? Did I miss it? Was I ever truly called? Today I say the wandering ends where the witnessing begins, and you're going to see with your own eyes what your heart no longer dared to believe. I was there for you through every spiral, every delay that felt like denial, and every detour that made your destiny seem like a far-off daydream. The pages you have been waiting for are not simply turning, they are being rewritten in real time, and you, my child, are in the script. This is not a metaphorical change. It is a literal manifestation. You are going from obscurity to overflow, from questions to confirmations, and the stage that was being constructed behind the curtain is now being unveiled. You are about to witness the wonder that you once only whispered about. Additionally, you won't need to seek attention. The spotlight will find you. The doors you feared had a rusted shutter that swung open at the sound of your obedience, not because you finally figured everything out, but because you stayed put. You remained submissive when others frantically sought solace. You remained steadfast in your faith even when it seemed easier to sleep. You waited. You wandered. You wondered. But now you will see. And now I, the Lord your God, am rewarding what no one else even saw. I am bringing to light the fruits of faith sown in shadows. The seeds you believed died in the soil of delay are breaking through the ground of my glory. I want you to remember that I never left, and that I never lied. What you're about to witness will silence every lie. I can say this with authority because I want you to remember that I never left. The fulfillment will come so precisely, so surgically, so supernaturally that your doubts will be unable to withstand the weight of my faithfulness. This is the hour of revelation, the moment you go from barely hanging on to boldly stepping in, and it won't just be you who sees it. You'll look back on the waiting and realize it wasn't wasted. You'll go back and realize it was part of your refining. And you'll look back at the wandering and realize that even in detours, I was directing you. Because I don't elevate for acclaim, I elevate for purpose, and your purpose is now colliding with your moment. What you previously feared would never be is about to happen. Those who watched you suffer in silence will see the shift. Those who questioned your pace will be amazed by my positioning. There were days when you looked around and couldn't find me. Days when your hands trembled under pressure and your heart whispered, "This must be the end." You saw things fall apart, and I don't blame you for doing so. Oh, child, how you misread some of your most sacred seasons. God, why would you let everything fall apart when I was trying to do it right? You asked yourself as plans fell apart, people departed, buildings fell apart, and dreams bled out in front of you like broken promises. But let me declare it now with the clarity of the light of heaven. It was a heavenly setup, not a breakdown. The shaking was not punishment. The demolition was construction disguised as destruction. I understand that it hurts to hear, and I know how hard you worked, how long you hoped, how earnestly you prayed, but I saw what you couldn't. It was preparation, and although it appeared to be loss, it was actually me clearing the debris so your true foundation could be revealed. It broke your heart, but it also broke the cycle, the illusion, and the attachments that weren't supposed to go where I'm taking you. Sometimes, child, I have to break what's temporary so you won't settle there. That soil beneath that structure couldn't sustain the legacy I'm birthing through you, so I let it fall. What appeared to be destruction turned out to be deliverance, not from a location, but from a mindset. You didn't fail. You were set free. And now, from the ashes of what you believed to be over, I'm creating something unbreakable, something that will withstand the storms you haven't even seen yet. This is your turning point. I have to let the wrong thing disappoint you so you stop trying to embellish dysfunction and call it destiny. I'm rebuilding, but this time with you awake, with you healed, without your addiction to performance or need for approval to feel worthy. And I'm building with your naked soul, not your practiced religion. And the structure I erect now won't just be beautiful. This is where you stop lamenting the ruins and begin to recognize the revelation. Even when you cried out, "This can't be God," I was whispering, "I'm still here, still holding, still designing, still working all things for your good." It will be unbreakable because it won't be supported by pride or insecurity. It will be rooted in intimacy, grown through trust, and sealed in worship. Welcome to the beginning you thought would never come. The breakthrough you're about to experience will make you grateful for every single collapse. Not because you like suffering, but because you'll realize that what broke you also made you stronger. I was behind it all, not to harm you, but to bring you home. I just told you, it's not too late. And now I say that you're also right on time to become a vessel of the good news for others. What I've poured into you today is not meant to stop with you, it's seed, and I'm inviting you to sow it. Supporting a channel through PayPal, membership, or super thanks means that you are working with me to light fires in hearts that are still waiting in silence. As it is written in Proverbs 11:25, I'm watching who waters my word. I'm marking those who move when I speak. This is your moment. Don't delay. Open what's in your hand, and I will open what's in mine. I will bless those who bless what I breathe through. It's not loud songs or lengthy speeches. It's not perfect performance or polished religion. It's you. Your tears on the pillow at 2 in the morning, the whispered, "Help me, Lord," that never made it to a journal or a post. Now, dear, don't let anyone tell you otherwise about what touches me. I gather them. Yes, I gather them like precious treasure. I weigh them, I bottle them, I record them. They are not forgotten in heaven. It's the ache in your chest when you see others celebrate victories you're still pleading for. That is what moves me. That is worship. Not because it's pretty, but because it's real. You're accounted for in eternity. You've never cried by yourself. Your soul spoke in a fluent worship style, even when the room was empty and your pain had a language. I took every silent moan as a sacred sacrifice. You've questioned whether I even noticed. Does this egg count if I can't sing right now? Oh, child, it matters more if I'm not strong at the moment. Your cries of pain are heard more clearly than prepared statements. You showed up when your heart was barely patched together, and you continued to walk when it would have been easier to give up. Every one of those moments became music to my heart. I hold holy the rawness of your sadness, and while others skipped past you, thinking you were okay, I pulled closer. I've been listening to every tremor in your voice, and I've held your face in invisible hands each time you whispered, "God, I don't know how much more I can take." Your pain was never in vain. This is what I want you to hear right now. I have never turned away. Suddenly I was closer than your breath, even when you couldn't feel me and your faith was too shattered to talk. Even though I wasn't present for your midnight prayers, I was, and I reward what I see. Your tears are money in my kingdom, and your pain is sacred. And now I'm answering, but out of promise. I'm releasing a wave of restoration that equals the weight of your private worship. You're not just going to be comforted, you're going to be crowned with joy, peace, and beauty that rises from the ashes of what once was. The prayers you thought hit the ceiling pierced heaven, and I'm answering them with clarity, speed, and abundance. The joy I'm about to pour out isn't random, though. It's measured against every moment you held on in the dark. You haven't missed anything. Every pain, every prayer, and every tear is now becoming testimony rather than trauma. Child, pay attention to me and allow this truth to dispel the lies that have attempted to bury you. What I have kept for you hasn't gone bad or been given to someone better. I am the God who does not recycle destinies. I tailor, I design that curve. What I set aside for you was sealed in eternity, immune to time, undisturbed by human interference, and unshaken by your times of uncertainty. It has not been rerouted because of your delay or missteps. It has not aged out of reach. I didn't give it away when you asked me questions, and I actually concealed it deeper, keeping it in the nooks and crannies of time where remorse, rust, and moth couldn't get to it. And what I've saved for you is as fresh today as the day I pronounced it over your life. You feared you missed it, that you wasted too many years, that you made the wrong decision, that you listened to the wrong voices, that you wondered if what you once dreamed was only for a younger version of yourself. But I tell you now, age does not revoke anointing, and delay does not dissolve destiny. I wrapped it in layers of mercy and encoded it with your identity so that no one else could unlock it but you at the appointed time. The time I have preserved for you has not become stale. Rather, it has been ripening in the soil of delay, absorbing the nutrients of everything you have endured, and each scar has added flavor. I am the keeper of time, and I bend it to fit the architecture of my plan. I don't change your purpose to fit a clock. I change the clock to fit your purpose. Even when faithfulness felt like survival, it was because of your faithfulness that the fruit is now full and wet. And what I protected for you is not only being exposed, but it is being delivered. The benefit is not hurrying to catch up. Every disappointment has added depth. It has arrived on schedule. And let me be clear, child, I did not hinge the preservation of this promise on your perfection. No one can steal what I have saved for you. Not the enemy, not the delay, not the people who misinterpreted your calling, not even you in your darkest hour. I placed it on the foundation of my love, my covenant, and my unwavering, unstoppable determination to complete what I began. For this reason, I kept it, the true blessing, not the imitation you nearly chose. And now, as I open this vault and reveal what has been waiting, I tell you, get ready to be astounded. This is not the consolation prize. You didn't miss it. You didn't lose it. I kept it safe, and now it's yours. Let me stop the clock in your soul. This is the crown. It's not second best. It's exactly what your spirit has been aching for. I know how time has been tormenting you, how it's whispered in your ear that you're too old, too delayed, too far off schedule to fulfill what you were born for. But I, the Lord your God, do not speak through the voice of fear, and I tell you now, you are not late, you are not behind, you are not the exception to my promise, you are not a deed or a story. Let me silence the ticking of shame and fear that says you've fallen too far behind. You, my child, are exactly where I knew you would be at this hour, and you are on time for the divine sequence I am unleashing now. My child, if this message touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with others and subscribe for more divine words from God. Amen.